Yeah, good morning, folks. This is Jürgen Richt from CSAT. Today I want to discuss the meeting which Dr. Heinz Feldmann from Rocky Mountain Lab, NIH, and myself are co-chairing and organizing in May 7th through 10th this year in Manhattan, Kansas, here in Manhattan, the Little Apple, and it's called 8th International Conference on Emerging Zoonoses. It starts on May 7th with welcome addresses by the Dean of our college and Provost of the university, and then we have opening lectures, one by Adolfo Garcia Sastre, one of the best RNA virologists in the world, and Carlos Martins, a person from Lisbon, Portugal, which worked his entire career on African swine fever virus. The next morning, on Monday morning, we have a really interesting session on pathogen discovery, which will be led, the people who speak in that session is Thomas Mettenleider, the director and president of the Friedrich Loeffler Institute of the island of Rheims, the USDA Plum Island counterpart, Ian Lipkin from Columbia, very well known for his work on pathogen discovery, and then Vincent Münster, from the NIH, mainly, most likely talking on MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. And then we have some selected communications from oral speakers. We continue with an epidemiology session talking about chikungunya with a South American speaker, and about zoonotic diseases in the Middle East with a speaker from the Middle East, from Jordan, who is the FAO rep in Saudi Arabia. And then we have some free oral communications, we break for lunch, and then the afternoon is really exciting with vaccines, vaccinology, and we have two National Academy of Science members speaking in the session that afternoon, Roy Curtis, the third from University of Florida on Salmonella vaccine work, David and Peter Palais from Mount Sinai School of Medicine, both our National Academy of Science member. Peter speaks about universal influenza vaccines, and another speaker is David Weiner from Perelman School of Medicine, University of Pennsylvania. In the evening, we have a bacterial pathogen and antimicrobial resistance session where we have Garth Alley from Drexel University on biofilms, and Trina Chakraborty from University of Gießen, more on antimicrobial resistant paradigms. The next day, we start on Tuesday with a session on viral pathogens. And here we have influenza talk by Hans-Dieter Klenk, by rabies, by one of the rabies experts, Bernhard Dietschold, and then viruses at the animal-human interface with Stacy Schultz-Sherry from St. Jude's. She will talk about Zika, influenza, and maybe astroviruses. And later on in the morning we have hemorrhagic fever viruses, which is obviously a critical, important part of this, with Hannah Weingartel from Canadian Food Inspection Agency from Canada on Nipah, and Pierre Roland from the CDC on Lassa fever. In the afternoon we talk more about microbial immunology with Jim Crow from Vanderbilt. He does all these humanized or human monoclonal antibodies, and he will talk about how to use them to help protect people and treat people with emerging infectious diseases. And we will have Nicole Baumgart from UC Davis to talk about immune responses to influenza virus infections, and Barry Rouse will talk about herpes simplex viruses and his models he is working on. In the evening, the last session is on comparative medicine with Klaus Osterrieder from Berlin, discussing herpes viruses and the use of various herpes viruses for vaccinology. And then Veronica von Messeling will talk about Mobili virus disease outcome and its determinants, and she is at the Paul Ehrlich Institute in Germany. And the next morning we have half a day only sessions where we have another session on viral pathogen with Anis Löwen from Emory. She does some beautiful work on reassortment of influenza viruses. And then we have another keynote by Dana van Lindingham from Kansas State University on zoonotic arboviruses in the US. And the last session of the day is on molecular characterization of pathogens, where Willy Valdivia from Orion Integrated Biosciences will talk about his approaches to analyze complex data, the big data, what you get out of sequencing with new algorithms, and Vivek Kapoor on the use and the need to find solutions for bovine tuberculosis. And Vivek is from Penn State. And the whole thing will finish at noon on the 10th. So please, if you haven't signed up yet for this meeting, the last day for early registration fees is on Monday, March 20th, and a poster submission or abstract submission is closed now. But if you want to come to this exciting meeting where we expect about 150 people from veterinarians, medical professionals, veterinary professionals, public health professionals, wildlife people, federal government, industry. We have a lot of industry or several industry presentations outside tables where they show their products, not during the meeting. And so please sign up, and the website is www.zoonoses-conferences.com. Thank you very much.